I just figured out a cool thing I could do now. Being that most of the stuff I talk about is a 4-hour seminar, and I do it in an hour or less. So on some days, when it's a deep topic, I'm gonna go in a little deeper. And now this morning I was talking about stay-at-home moms, and it take a lot of reprogramming. It takes a lot of reprogramming to change that toxic mindset, to think that a woman has to be her own separate entity, and that a man has to be his own separate entity even when they are in a marriage. What I mean is that they have to work against each other or compete with each other instead of supporting each other. And so we have to be careful that we don't get caught up in semantics, arguing over little words that mean nothing or that mean everything but something different to each person. And so some people say, hey, a woman shouldn't have to get a stipend or an allowance. Again, that is from toxicity. If a woman is married, the man's money is her money. Just because he works for it doesn't make it his money. He's doing his part. She is working as well by taking care and being the CEO of home and those kids. So this is what you have to realize. I was gonna hire a chef years back, and I talked to this lady, Chef Jordan, I think her name was, and she was P. Diddy's chef. And I said, how much is it? This was 2010, 2011. She says $400 a day. If we do Monday through Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's 4 days times 4, that's $1,600 a week. So this mom who is cooking 3 meals a day, or making sure everybody fed 3 meals a day, that's $1,600 a week if you want to pay for a real top of the line chef. Now there are chefs who will do that for $100 a day. That's $400 a week, and that's 4 days a week. But a mama got to make sure everybody eats 7 days a week. So this is what we got to understand. Just because the man going to work, it don't mean that it's our money because we working if we married. And that's the toxic narrative we have to change. So women saying, oh, a woman have to get a stipend or an allowance for her basic needs. No, she does not, because her basic needs is a part of the household bills. So my wife, we get an allowance, each of us get an allowance. We have to stop demonizing words. There's nothing wrong with an allowance. There's nothing wrong with a stipend. We have to stop demonizing and weaponizing words. All this means is this is your spending money inside of our household budget. So right now, and this from where I am, this from where I'm at financially, a comfortable spending for my wife is $1,000 a week. Now that is not, it wasn't, it used to be $5 a week. You got to understand, we built from nothing. It used to be $5 a week. Right now it's $1,000 a week. So I said, baby, we can afford for you to have $1,000 a week, for me to have $1,000 a week. But I said, I don't really need an allowance or a spending money. And even my wife, she'd rather call it spending money than allowance, because allowance, we think about kids. But this again, us making words that are harmless words into a weapon because of toxicity. Again, remember, we growing here. It's 2022. You got to get to the root. Why do we think the word allowance or stipend is a bad word? Because of controlling men who give their wife an allowance and control her and dominate and dictate her. The word is not a bad word. The way that toxic controlling man uses it and abuses it makes it bad. So that's what we have to understand. So I tell my wife, and this me being transparent, I don't have to bring you in my home like this. This me being transparent to let you know I'm living what I'm talking about. I say $1,000 a week, and that's realistic. But I said this, I say, listen, if you need something, if something come out, it's a hot collaboration. Like, I just got her some of the collaboration of Gucci and North Face. And I said, if it's a hot collaboration and something is $3,000, $4,000, and you want that, I say, just buy it. Just buy it, and then just know that that extra spending like that, you know, stuff that is not a necessity, stuff that you don't need, stuff that it just is fun money. I say, then just take it in advance. Like you paying yourself in advance. You saying, hey, I get $4,000 or I get $5,000 this month based on the amount of Fridays in this month. I'm gonna spend it up front and get this here item that I really, really love. And I say, so just take it in advance. And then I say, of course, on birthdays, anniversary, Valentine's, then I'm gonna do me. In addition to her $1,000 a week, I'm gonna do me and buy her a gift. So Christmas, I probably spent $20,000 on her, but I started from October to space it out for my budget. I couldn't just go drop 20. I had to do a couple grand in October, some in end of October, some in the beginning of November. Some as I get paid, I just buying little stuff here and there. And so this in addition to the money she's spending. Now she go do a thing for her face, and the bill for it was $2,200. She went to get her sister some face routine, a 4-step face routine. The bill for that was almost $1,000. The cream and all that, moisturizer, all that. So she went to do that, and so that's money. And so here's the thing. I take and I say, okay. She said, so she said, with the $1,000 a week, I take care of my hair, I take care of my nails and facials and all. I said, no, that's not. I say that's a part of the household. That's normal maintenance. Your eyebrows, your lashes, your nails, your feminine products, your facials. That's a part of household expenses, because that's the upkeep of a woman. That come out just the normal pot, the joint pot of where all the money go. That come out of that. This money is for you. You get yours, I get mine. This money is just for just random stuff, just whatever you want to do. You know, this just like extra. This is like non-consequential stuff. So I say, for me, the way I want to spend mine in 2020 is I want to go to the boxing matches. So I don't take a allowance every week, because I don't need nothing. I'm not into fashion. My wife into fashion, and it's something that come out every week. So I like her to have money, have the green light to be able to stay up on her fashion, because she a queen. And so I want her to be able to stay up on her fashion. I don't do that. It don't matter to me personally, but I'm a man. A man and a woman is different. I understand that. So this is the thing. This stipend or allowance, all this is a budget. That's all it is. And it's not it's not about a woman asking, because a man supposed to ask too. Say, hey, do we have this in the budget for me to go to the fight in Vegas? Flight gonna be $1,200. Hotel room at MGM Grand gonna be $500 a night. Be there 2 nights or 1 night, fly in Saturday morning, but if the flight delayed, you can miss the fight. So fly in Friday, there Friday night, there Saturday night, come back on Sunday. So that's $1,700. So for me, that's my mental health. That's me getting away. That's me relaxing from dealing with all the arguments and complaints and questions and back and forth of the work that I do. And my wife, now her mental health, retail therapy, getting the hot new collaboration that just dropped. She could not care less about going to the fight. Now, if it's a basketball game, she want to go to that. And so, but again, if I'm going to the game or to the fight or to whatever, and she want to go, if she said, this is what she said. She said, I'm not going to force it. She was like, if the kids got a game or something like that, I'm going to stay home because I don't really have to be there. She like, but I want you to go. I know you need that for your mental health. I want you to go and I'll stay home. Guess what? A good nanny might cost you 30 grand a year, 50 grand a year. Some of them 70, 80 grand a year. So that's what I'm trying to say. A man working and providing, that ain't his money. Because if he had to pay for the cooking his wife do, the cleaning his wife do, being there for them kids the way she do, that man will be paying 6 figures. But then we want to discount what she doing and say, oh, well, that's her kids. She supposed to do that. That's her kids. Those his kids. He supposed to work. So he don't get no extra credit like, oh, this my money because I'm working. No, you supposed to work because you the man of the household. She doing the equivalent. But what she doing is even more important because she raising y'all kids. She raising y'all kids. She ain't raising nobody else's kids. She raising y'all kids, unless y'all had taken somebody else's kid, but she raising y'all kids. This as a man, my kids is my legacy, my lineage. This is my lineage. This they represent me. If my kid go out here and wanna Ica food, that make me look bad. Cause it's like, where was you? What was you doing for your child to get into this? Now, yeah, they got the mind of their own, but not really, because if you raise them right and you train them up the way the Bible say, they gonna stay on the right path, just like you stayed on the right path. And where you went on the wrong path, you could look and see what your parents did or did not do. I was selling drugs. You know why? My daddy never talked to me about the streets. He never told me any street stories. He never told me to stay away from the streets. He never told me that. He never talked to me about premarital sex. He never talked to me about wearing a condom. He never talked to me about abstaining until... He never talked to me about that. I could have knew from the Bible and all of that, but when you young, God not realer to you than your parents. If your parents sit down and say, listen, I want you to save yourself till marriage, and they hammer that in you, guess what? You're going to have a hard time getting in that bed with somebody because of what you've been taught. So where you went wrong, you could see where your parents could have dropped the ball because they didn't know any better. It don't make them a bad parent. They didn't know any better. So if a woman or a man could be home with the kids, that would be ideal. Because it's a lot of temptation in this world. It's a lot going on in this world. So them kids having somebody in their ear all the time, that is ideal. But see, this is the thing where I say it's not a one size fits all, because in some families, the woman just could happen to be, from her single life and having to be financially independent, the woman could be in a situation to where she built her business, she built her brand, and she's super successful. And she got clients that depend on her. She got an audience that depend on her. So she get married. If she make more money, or her job is more impactful than the man trade that he's doing, or job that he's doing that's of no consequence, it's just a job to make money, and they have kids, that man could stay home. That man may need to stay home to be there for the kids on them appointments and them times where the woman is working. So it's not a one size fits all. So that's why I say we have to understand that you can't just take a narrative from offline and just apply it to your life. You can't do that. Looking at that car nice, now look like mine, but mine a little step up. So you can't just do that. You got to look and see, okay, where am I at in my life? What do I need to do? What makes sense for my household right now? And we got to be real about this thing, man. We can't get into these movements and let these movements destroy your house. And now you as a wife who got a husband could pay the bills, you just going to work just to work because of somebody's opinion online. Don't do that. Now, if you want to go work because your identity is tied up into you making money, you might need therapy. Listen to me now. Your identity should not be tied up in the money that you make. Them kids got your ID in them. They got your genes in them. Your blood coursing through their veins. If anything, your identity, it need to be them kids. And so, listen, we talking about, it's so much more to me than the kids. Yeah, we right. But it's seasons. It's seasons. It's seasons. Listen to me. It's way more to me than just my kids. But right now, my kids are the priority. I could worry about the rest of me when my kids out of my house. So let me tell you, if I didn't have kids right now, what I would be doing is I would be touring. At the top of the year, I would look at the cities I want to go to. And every Saturday night, I would be in a different city. So 52 cities a year. And then some nights on Wednesday nights or Thursday nights, I may be in 104 different cities a year. And me and my wife will be on the road and we'll get to see these other cities, eat at their restaurants. That's of me. That's in me. That's a dream of mine. But guess what I chose? To bring kids into the world. So guess what I got to understand? Seasons and timing. I can't do what I want to do, worrying about my purpose and my this and that to the fullest and my dreams, because I changed my reality when I brought beings in the world that cannot fend for themselves. So we got to stop being selfish adults who want to have our cake and eat it too. If you eat the cake is gone, anime. If you sit the cake on the counter to look at it because it's pretty, it's gonna spoil. So what you got to do is find a balance. The first season is sitting the cake on the counter and letting it see it's pretty. The next season is eating that cake before it go bad. And then the cake is gone. And so what you got to do, now the next season is going to earn some money so that you can afford another cake. And it repeats itself. So when you living with your parents, you are a dependent. You the cake sitting pretty. When you turn 18, you are an adult. So you go get a job. Or you go to college, you still a dependent on your parents. Or you go to college and you have a job. It's seasons. When you finish college, if you do college, then you working. If you don't do college, you working. When you have kids, if you have the support to change, when you have kids, with or without support, you may say, I'm going to change from working in the office to working from home. So I have more flexibility. Or I'm going to change from this industry or this type of job to this type of job so I have more flexibility. Seasons change. If you have support, you may say, I'm going to quit my job altogether, take a hiatus from my job so that I can be with the kids full time. because you have support. Now, this is the thing. Financially independent could mean you have saved up years worth of salary. Meaning if you went into a job that's paying you $100,000, $150,000, and you lived off 75 and you put up 75, and you've been working 5 years, 10 years, now you got enough money put up in savings, not including what come out your check automatically and go to your 401k and your taxes that come out automatically, not including that. But now you done put up enough money to where you got years worth of living expenses from your financial independence. So see, this is what you got to understand. Life happens in seasons. Life happens in seasons. So a woman could be financially independent when she is by herself, and meaning she's not married. But then she may say, okay, now I'm married. We having kids, bringing kids into the world. So now, instead of being financially independent, I'm now going to be financially interdependent. Meaning now I'm going to lean on, she says she's going to lean on her husband earning ability so that she can be present with the kids. And guess what? At that point, it does not mean that his money is his money. It don't mean that now she on allowance. Even if it's allowance, it don't mean that that's now this is this terrible term of allowance and she on ball and chain. What it mean is this is their money, and these are her expenses and needs. These are his expenses and needs. So I asked my wife last night or the night before, I said, baby, in 2022, what do you need for your mental health? I say, what do you need for your peace and solace? I say, tell me what you need. I said, what do you need from me? What do you need me to do? Is it something you need me to do? Is it amount of money you need to be put into the budget so that you could take care of what you got to take care of? I say, because what I was thinking is this year, instead of us doing a percentage of what we earn as spending money, we'll do a set thing, because when your income go up, that percentage could get crazy. And so, and it could just be ridiculous, and it turn into worshiping money, it turn into mammon. You can't serve God and mammon, or it just turn into grossness, you know. So I say, let's set a realistic number. I say, so that's what I was thinking. But I said, but what else do you need? And she said, well, I need to help me manage the house, I need for you to pick up after yourself. So if you eat, put your plate up. Put your plate in the trash if you're on a paper plate, or put your plate in the dish, in the sink, or pick up your socks out the floor, pick up your drawers out the floor. She said, I need everybody to do their part, because it might not look like a big deal, but if the three of y'all eating and leaving it on the table, take off your socks, leave it in the floor, she said that make a crazy mess for me. So I said, okay, you got that. She said, I noticed you've been doing that. She said, I noticed how you picking up your stuff or what have you, and you cleaning up. She cleaned up my nightstand, and I done left it like that. I got it nice and neat. She cleaned up my closet, organized my closet. When I take my shoes off, I put it in the little shoe holder that she got for me from the Container Store, and I put it up. And so she see how I'm doing. And so because of that, I see, okay, she took the time to straighten this up, to clean this up. Let me take the time to make sure I keep it this way. Because it'll be where I'm moving around, I'm tired or whatever, mentally exhausted from arguing with people online, trying to get people to see straight. And I'll be mentally exhausted. I go take my shoes off in the closet and just leave them on the floor. And then tomorrow I leave the shoes on the floor. Next thing you know, I got 5, 6, 7 pairs of shoes just in my closet floor. And then I just leave it there, mentally exhausted every day. And then she go behind me, have to clean all that up. She'll clean all that up, and then I get it right back to where it was. And the same with my son. So now what she's saying is, listen, we got to learn, y'all got to pick up after y'all self. So that helped her. But now what we doing is I'm bringing in because we use a whole bunch more clothes than the average family, because our son's very active. So our sons might go through 3 outfits in a day. And so because of their sports and what have you. So we bringing in a laundry person, a lady that's gonna do the laundry, except for our underwears. I don't want nobody in my drawers. And then she told me I could hire a chef, but instead of a chef, we probably gonna hire her mama, because her mama know how to cook, and just pay her to make sure that if my wife ripping and running with the boys, it's a well-balanced meal being made. Now see, this is the thing, as your income go up, it affords you a little bit of help, but before you get there, it's seasons. So before you get there, you doing all of this. The single mom or the single dad or the mom and dad doing all of that, doing the laundry, working. And so it's women that is single moms, it's dad that's single dad, and they working, they cleaning, they cooking, or eating out, fast food, or buying food, budgeting in restaurant, cooks or what have you. And so this is the thing. Right now, my wife, she's not feeling too good today, because me and her was up last night talking till like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. She got up at 5 o'clock to get ready for the boys. I slept in at 10 o'clock. That's an unfair advantage. So I'm sleeping in at 10. She got up at 5, because we have learned she could function a little better off no sleep. I can't. I don't know if it's from the concussions I had playing football all my life or what, but my brain just, it don't work if I don't sleep. And so she get up, she take them to school. I could get up and take them to school, but she don't like me doing that, because that's her thing. So she take them to school, she come back home, she got in the bed, took her a nap. That ain't ideal, but we was up late talking. We talking like we was in high school. We going on 15 years of marriage. That ain't ideal to be talking till 2 o'clock in the morning as a couple that's going on 15 years of marriage. But we did that because we talking about our life. We talking about what we want to do this year, what we gonna do differently, how we gonna manage our money, all this kind of stuff right here. So tonight, I'm picking up my son. When he get in the car, my wife said, text me. When you get him, I'm going to order some food from Bonefish Grill. So instead of her cooking, or me attempting to cook, I can't cook, we just going to eat from Bonefish. Fish, asparagus or broccoli, whatever, garlic mashed potatoes. You see what I'm saying? So that might not, so people may say, oh, well, if your wife don't work, why she can't cook? Why she can't clean? And I'm going to tell you this right here. She can do what she want to do. She can do what she want to do. Because you never know what's going on in somebody's body. My wife know a pharmacist who his wife died from a brain aneurysm. You never know what's going on with somebody's body. You never know what somebody's hormones is doing. So somebody could be going through, somebody could be coming down with something, and because we just want to label people, oh, you don't work, so you supposed to cook, clean, blah, 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 they might be going through something. So it ain't one size fits all. And so, women want to be superheroes, and oh, well, the woman supposed to work because the man need some rest too. The man listen, as a man, I don't have to carry no kids for 10 months. I don't have to have the feeling of breaking 20 bones at one time giving birth to the kids. I don't have to have postpartum depression. I don't have to bleed for 5 days a month and not die. I don't have to have sore nipples. I don't have to have cystic outbreak in my face from hormones being off. I don't have to decide whether I want to do birth control or not. I ain't got to think about a hysterectomy or tubes tied. It's a whole lot that a woman got just being a woman that I don't have as a man. So women got to stop believing the narrative that the world have given you that make you run around like a chicken with your head cut off, talking about, oh, a woman ought to go out and work because the man need to sleep too. He's sleeping at night. or when he not working. He sleep. It's like, listen, don't make no excuses for me. Don't make no excuses for me. Let me do what God called me to do. Let me use the gift that God gave me. So if God gave me the gift to earn a living, to provide for my family, let me do that. Don't tell my wife that she got to go do everything she doing for me, do everything she doing for the kid, do everything she doing for the household, and go work as much as I'm working too. That ain't fair. Cause my body don't got to do everything her body got to do. And see, this the thing. But see, we in a society now that women hating themselves. Women making their life harder because of the brainwashing that men on the podcast sitting in the dark that made them feel. Because of men who hate women, because of men who don't like women, because of men who mad with their daddy. It's women beating themselves up and feeling terrible about adjusting to the life God gave them. So listen to me. If God intended for a woman to work as much as a man, he wouldn't have told a woman body to bleed every month. If God intended for a woman to work as much as a man, he wouldn't have the woman pregnant for 10 months. It's 9 months that we always say, but it's really 10 months because them first 4 weeks, you just, the little fetus or whatever, embryo, whatever y'all call it. But God wouldn't have a woman body 3 months. A lot of times a woman starts showing. 6 months later, baby coming out. God wouldn't have a woman walking around with a stomach that size if it's intended for her to work just like the man, as much as the man. God wouldn't have a woman go through something that could kill her. I got 2 cousins that caught a rare disease of when you give birth, you die 3 months later. That happened to 2 of my cousins. They did not do drugs. They did not get drunk. They did not smoke no weed. They did not smoke no cigarettes. But they caught a rare disease that after they gave birth, both of them 3 months later, they died. They mamas were sisters. They mama was sisters. It didn't happen with their mama. Their mama lived. They died. We got to see, women, you got to understand. I know the world done said, listen, suck it up. This is what you got to deal with. But you got to stake your claim. You got to understand what God done put on you. You got to understand what come with being a woman. So that's why you have to be intentional about who you sleep with. That's why you have to be intentional that the man you sleep with is not no hypergamy and all of that, hypergamy, but that this is a man of character. That this a man that he's not some apologist. I don't even know what that means. But he's not some woman-hating man. That he's not some man that feel like it's men versus women. And that we at odds and we got to be, oh, you need to be do it. And he don't understand his place in the world and what he's supposed to be doing. And see, this ain't for everybody. There's gonna be some people that's stuck in the dark. That's stuck on what they stuck on. Stay stuck on what you stuck on. Don't argue with me about it. Don't debate with me about it. You know what you know. I know what I know. Stay out my comments. Do your YouTube channel on it. Do your YouTube channel on what you know. I'm living what I'm teaching. I know what I know. I know it could work. I know it could work. I know it ain't nothing wrong with a woman being home with her kids full time if that's what she want to do. Now, if you want to go work, more power to you. If you want to go work, more power to you. But what you got to realize, you got to ask yourself, why do I want to work if I could be home with the kids? Not because I have to work, but because I want to work. And then you got to get to the root of that. and make sure that it's because of you. It's because of your purpose. It's because of your passion. It's because of you, and it's not because of what your mama or daddy made you feel, what the world made you feel, what your man made you feel, what another woman online made you feel, but it's because of something you want to do. That's what you got to get to the root of. So listen to me. This is what we got to understand now. It ain't hard. It's hard to understand this. It's hard to be deprogrammed when you'd have been programmed over these last couple decades, that a woman can't be interdependent with her man and her do a part that she's strong at and him do the part he's strong at, and they come together and meet in the middle. And that a woman got to feel like, and then we get into this, and listen, as adults, remember, we got freedom of choice, we ain't got freedom of consequence. So a lot of times we want to be like, oh, I ought to be able to do what I want to do, and I ought to be able to live my life, and if I want to travel and work, I ought to be able to do that even though I got kids. Listen, as an adult, you made a choice. You chose to have kids. You got to live with the consequences. Can't have everything at one time. You can have everything, but it come in different seasons. You can't have summer and winter at the same time, unless you live in Florida. You got to have spring. You got to have summer. You got to have fall. And then you got to have winter. You can't wear your fur boots and your flip-flops and short shorts at the same time in the same season. You can't wear your fur coat, your bomber jacket, and your spaghetti string tank top in the same season. You can't be in your ski clothes and your bathing suit in the same season. So if you chose to have kids, the kids have to be the priority. Whether you see that as your tank top, your spaghetti strap tank top and flip-flops, or whether you see that as your fall clothes or your winter clothes, it got to be what it got to be. And then when your kids is grown, Lord willing, you got plenty more decades to do you. But you got to understand seasons. You got to understand timing. You got to understand sacrifice. So I want to tour right now, because I love that feeling. I love that tour. I love that. But I want to be at my son's game. So for me to sell the most tickets, I need to do a seminar on Saturday. My sons play every Saturday. A tour ain't going nowhere. My son's youth is going somewhere. So if I tour right now, and then my son's youth career is over at 18, guess what? I still could tour. But what can I not do? I can't rewind the hands of time and have my son 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, and so on soccer season. So I got to understand seasons. So right now, let me be there for my sons to catch their game on Saturday. And then when that's done, then let me tour. And when that's done, Tatum 7, when he 18, that's over with. So that means 5 plus 6 is 11. He got 11 years. In 11 years, I'll be 48. How you feel at 48? You feel good. You feel good. Do you feel like you could tour? If I invited you to go on tour right now at 48, can you make it? Absolutely, I'm there, Tony. So guess what? What that mean is, at 48, I'm still going to be in good shape. I'm still going to be good to tour. And somebody, oh, Tony, your health ain't promised. Tomorrow ain't promised. Guess what? At 48, what's going on, son? Don't be making no funny faces. And at 48, if I ain't healthy to tour, guess what? I caught my son's game. I saw their youth. I saw their game that I can't get back. So if I can't do me, okay, I brought kids into the world. I'm going to put them before me because they came in through my pleasure. Through me catching me a big O in that bedroom. That my kids was conceived in my pleasure. And they came in against their will. So if I can't do me when they done with their youth career, okay. That was a bigger responsibility because I brought them into the world against their will. So this what we got to realize and understand here, folks, that we don't realize and understand. So listen, this video, my purpose. But now my son is in the car. Normally my video is 20 more minutes. But now my son is in the car, so you know what I'm finna do? I'm finna let you go so I could talk to my son. Because that means more right now. Got to understand seasons. Got to understand choices and consequences. Got to understand timing. Got to understand your priorities. Hey, this is Tony Gasson. God bless you. We'll talk soon.